Yes, we are. We're happy to be here.
I'm very happy to be here, but I'm kind of sad because I'm alone on this balcony. You're
I know.
with me.
I wish I was there with you, but I am very happy in my pink palace for now.
Yes, you're very comfortable, but I miss you, but I had to be out here. You know, I'm kind of taking one for the team out on the balcony. One of us has to be on the balcony. So.
Oh, I know. It's a tough life, Julie.
Yes, it's really very tough. So it actually, beach vacations, comfortable pink palaces, it kind of goes along with our word of the week, which kicks off a new month. So what is our word of the week, Queenie?
Our word is comfort, and I feel that all the time. It's a feeling of well-being, feeling good, feeling happy. I'm very comfortable. It also works as a verb. And when you put your arms around someone and comfort them and make them or give them hope, make them feel better, that's also comfort, Julie. Yeah. I love to do it. I get so much back myself, and it's so necessary, especially now after what we've all gone through.
Yes. And you're so good at it, Mom. You are a natural comforter, a natural encourager, and you're just so good at with your random acts of kindness and your phone calls. I mean, there are many ways to comfort others. Your cards in the mail, and we need it now. We need it now more than ever. But there is actually a deeper meaning. Comfort, there are many ways to comfort. There are emotional comfort,
Yes.
times of difficulty and grief where we come around people to comfort them. There are spiritual comfort, which we talked about in our Bible study Sunday night.
Yes.
We can find through studying God's word and recognizing the presence of the Lord in our lives. God often uses people too to comfort us. And then there's the physical comfort, and that's the one I think we think of most often. Our comfy robes.
Yes.
We talk about during the pandemic, comfort food. These things that make us comfortable. And we like it. Your pink palace, the beach. There's a lot of wonderful ways that we can be comfortable.
Oh, I know that. I always remember in my times of trouble or sadness, people coming to me, putting their arms around me, and it was such a feeling of comfort, Julie. You don't forget times like that, and we all have opportunities to do that if we just stop long enough to see what the other guy is going through. And makes you feel much better too.
Absolutely.
I know.
Absolutely.
And God's always at our side, always comforts us. Mm-hmm. We can talk to Him all day and tell Him what's going on, and we'll always feel comfort from God. I like the way you talked about that Sunday night.
Yes. There are many ways, and when you mentioned about people coming around you, I immediately thought of my good friend Beth from high school, and when Dad died, how she just showed up.
Yes.
It was such a comfort. Her presence was a comfort, and sometimes that's all, people need is for you to just show up, because sometimes, especially in the case of death, there really are no words. Or when someone's really struggling, because we all want to give something, and I think we've all been there where we've all tried to console, and sometimes words can come.
But just by being there, Julie.
Absolutely. Just by being there and knowing you're not alone. And I think that's the greatest comfort I have, knowing that I'm never alone, that God is with me.
I know that when I get up in the morning, when I go to bed at night, and it's a feeling of security, too.
Yes.
I used to be afraid to be alone. But now that I have God's comfort and He's with me all the time, I don't have that fear anymore either.
That's awesome. Absolutely. And that's a feeling. It's almost something you can't explain. This presence of God in our lives to comfort
Yes,
us through
yes.
difficult times. And sometimes God also sends people, or as we talked about on Sunday night, some surprises. How about this? This little guy has been
Oh,
one of the greatest comforts in my
oh, yes, yes.
unexpected surprise. And I
Oh,
think, God works in unexpected ways and goes ahead of us. I had no idea that I
oh,
needed this
no.
dog, and I was on
Oh,
my way to get a Christmas tree, and I
he's
ended up,
so much comfort, Julie.
look at him
Just
right now. I just
just having
snuggled.
him with you.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
It's absolutely amazing. So, sometimes we don't even know what we need, but God does. And certainly
yeah.
on the way to get a Christmas tree, I was thinking about the Christmas tree, not
That's
getting a
right.
dog. It wasn't even on the radar. So
Yeah.
yes, we are all very blessed. But one of the things that we talked about that actually relates to our lesson from last week, which, by the way, we've had a lot of incredible feedback about the story about the Cuban refugees who washed up on.
Oh, yes,
And as far as we know, they're all recovering. We don't know if they're
yes.
going to be sent back. Those are all things we don't know. It's not in the news now. So, but one of the things we talked about that really goes with our lesson this week is, can we be too comfortable? And when I think what happened to Mom and I last week is we got this shot of perspective that we were just doing our own thing, enjoying life down here,
Yeah.
writing, and then all of a sudden it's like this shock of awareness that, as
Uh,
we said, our
a
world
wake up
got bigger.
call.
It was a
Yes,
wake up
a
call, and
wake up call.
sometimes we need those wake up calls because I think we can get too comfortable in our
Oh,
own
yes.
little world
I
and
mean,
forget about all the suffering and what other people are
yeah.
going through. And so
We
it
have so
actually,
much, Julie. We kind of take it for granted. I never want to. And
right,
after seeing those people last week, oh my goodness, Julie, there but the grace of God go I. And it
absolutely.
really, really tunes you in to the world around you, really.
Absolutely, because many people obviously don't have the comforts we have.
No,
Many people are living in desperate situations and they don't have the physical comforts.
yeah,
But I will tell you, I remember going to Kenya and being with children who were orphans in the middle of nowhere, and they had a peace and a joy about them. They
yes,
had God in their lives. They had no physical comfort, but
no,
they had the Lord. And so
yeah,
again, there's different types of comfort. And this
yes,
comfort, it's a peace, a comforting peace is what I think of, God wrapping me in a big blanket. I loved what one of our friends, Marion, said when we talked about peace as being a calm assurance. And it's this assurance that we're not alone. And that brings us comfort in knowing.
yes,
And it's a comfort beyond a physical comfort, beyond our circumstances,
yes,
because that's when we often need it the most, is when our world bottoms out.
yep.
We could have all the material things that we'd ever
It,
want,
it
but
won't matter.
but it won't matter. In those
No,
desperate times, when you lose a
yeah,
loved one, it doesn't matter what kind of car you drive or what kind of house you live in.
yeah.
They're gone. And you need comfort that is beyond what material things can bring.
Well, we want to pray that all these people who are struggling and having life so hard can find peace and comfort, Julie. Find it with God and find it from others. I mean, we're not living alone in this world. And when we see someone suffering, I think it's up to us to step forward too. And we want to make people more comfortable, not only
Absolutely.
ourselves. So,
Absolutely. And I do believe that God will put those people right in front of you.
yes,
It's just
yes,
we need to be on the lookout and slow down so we notice. But
yes.
God will put people in front of you. And so,
Oh, yes,
you have an
really.
opportunity to bring them comfort
Yes,
and to,
yes.
help them, because there's so many hurting people everywhere we
Oh,
turn right now who've lost loved ones, who've lost
yes.
jobs. This pandemic has affected so many people. So we
There's
need to be,
people all around you. I encountered a friend yesterday, and she was feeling very down and worried about a doctor's message. And just being with her, trying to comfort her, I know she felt better. I know I felt better. And that people are in these lives, in our lives for a reason, Julie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No coincidence that you had that encounter. And that is
Yeah.
that's what God does. God will
It
make
is a God
encounters.
thing,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll have encounters. And
So,
again, it's an opportunity. So because people are struggling now, it actually provides even a greater opportunity to comfort
yes.
those who are struggling. So we hope that you're going to be on the lookout. The Queen is waving me off.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
so
Well, we have something coming up, I
yes,
think.
we do. But I
Yes.
wanted to finish my thought here that if you're in need of comfort, reach
Yes.
out. Do not
Uh,
isolate yourself.
Yes.
There are people. We're here for you. There are people
We are.
to comfort and love on you during your
Yes.
difficult times because that's what
We're ready to love on you. Just let us know. And we'll see you next week. But don't we have a technology tip coming up, Julie?
we have another technology tip.
Yes. Yes.
Technology tip number 2. So stay tuned for technology tip number 2 from the Queen. And have a
Okay.
wonderful week, and we will be praying for you and for
Yes.
you to be comforted or to be a comforter
Yes.
this week.
That's right.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hi, this is Queen Lori, and I'm coming to you today with technology tip number 2. And I'm going to tell you all about it and actually show you. But first, let's review what we learned last week. It's always good to do that. Last week, we learned how to receive an email or electronic mail, and we'll just quickly review how we did that. I'm moving my mouse. I'm double clicking on a stamp. Your icon may look different, but on my Apple machine, it's a stamp. I double clicked and voila, I got mail. Now, I would like to answer one of my communications. And so I'm going to go down and find the one I want to answer here. Oh my goodness.
Looks like you have a lot of mail. How many email messages do you actually have?
I never count. Well, it says I've got over 5,000. I never delete them, and a lot of it is junk mail. Advertisements from various stores, people wanting to sell me something. But you told me before, don't ever send for anything from here.
Right. You don't click on things you don't know. That's
No.
going to be another lesson.
That's
So we're going to also
another
do a lesson
lesson.
on cleaning up your email box.
That's right, Julie.
So you made it in. You're in your inbox
Yes.
because that was one of the key points, to be in the inbox. So
Yes.
what are you finding? You're going to send a response.
I'm going to send a response to my granddaughter, Carolyn, and I'm going to double click on her message, which pops right up here on the screen. And guess what? It has a reply box with it. So I can just go ahead here and it'll have her name right at the top. I don't have to look up the address. I scroll down a little bit here. Usually this is blank, but it isn't, so I'm gonna just delete it. I know where that is. And I'm gonna go ahead and type in my address. Let's see. It looks so easy, but here we go. If at first you don't succeed,
Well, this is a lesson upon a lesson. So you have a pop-up box there.
Yes.
Why don't you just X out of it?
Okay.
And how do we X out of something we don't want?
We take our mouse over to the red dot.
Okay, so red dot out of there.
Yes.
And then click on it again. At first you don't succeed, because what I think happened is, if you can see, you've got 2 boxes highlighted.
Yes.
You need to just highlight one, and then it'll allow you to respond.
I'll get rid of this one here. Nope, got rid of the wrong one. There. This one doesn't want to
So
go.
walk us through now how you reply. You just deleted Carolyn's message, I think.
Yes.
So
Oh, dear.
how would you reply? Let's just do a reply.
Okay. I'm going to have to pick someone else because...
We can retrieve the deleted. Okay, reply to Sandy.
All right. There we
Okay,
go.
there we go.
All right. Now, if I want to send a message back to Sandy, I'm going to go up to New Message, which is right at the top, and that's going to provide me with a clear box where I can go ahead and type in the name that's up there.
Right, and the name that's up there is called an email address.
An email address.
Just like you send somebody have an address, a physical address when you send a letter, there is an
Yeah.
email address.
You know what's nice about this? When I start to type in the email address, the computer knows I've been there before, so it goes ahead and pops up with the address. There it is. I didn't have to look for it. It came. And I've got plenty of room down here to send my message. Let's just pretend I typed it, and down at the bottom, I should have a reply box. I don't. So guess what? There's a little thing right above the address. It looks kind of like a feather. What would you say?
It's so the different kinds of email have different send buttons.
Yeah.
So the send button you want to look for is an arrow.
An
So
arrow.
you were looking for the reply button, which is on Gmail. So go
Oh.
ahead and send it.
Okay. Now, I didn't put all they wanted in there, so they sent me a warning and said, do I still want to send it? I said, yes, send anyway.
Right.
So there it is.
Poof. And
And
if
it-
you could submit in the subject line a topic.
I could, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you can just be mysterious.
I could also send a copy to someone else, which I can do anytime too. So that's lots of fun. It's all in front of me, and I've been sending these things out every day. I'm a little proud of myself.
You should be. Well, good job. So
Yeah.
today we learned how to respond
Yes,
and to send a new email message.
yes, and we reviewed on how to receive an email.
Yes.
That was the most important thing. So we have completed 2 lessons. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm a happy camper. I'll see you later.